So we get a call from the landlord. He says he heard a carbon monoxide alarm go off in here. He checks it, and that's when he finds a running generator and the great Andrew Levesque. May he rest in peace.
I'll bite. What makes the great Andrew so great?
Used to call him the Wayne Newton of fire breathers.
Wayne Newton?
Dankeschön was a very popular song. No? Well, anyway, the guy was a local celebrity at least. I thought he retired. I heard something about cancer. But apparently his cancer was in remission. He was planning a comeback.
Was it skin cancer? Because those lesions, they could also be indicative of Kaposi sarcoma, an AIDS-related illness. But the landlord mentioned carbon monoxide, huh? Generators do have a reputation for that. But in a room this size?
And therein lies your suspicious circs. You guys worked together before?
No. It's our first time. I'll be gentle.
You'll want to question the family when you get the chance. There was apparently a substantial insurance policy on the great Andrew's life. Okay, I'll leave you both to it.
Dankeschön. What a mess. I confess. Okay, so the windows were closed, and the generator was running to power those big spotlights there. With no ventilation and no airflow, the carbon monoxide released by the generator's internal combustion engine would diffuse pretty slowly. Andrew was standing near the generator for a while. The concentration of CO might have been enough to poison him. Human blood. Nice find. Good thinking. If we need to, we can figure out where that gas was purchased from its composition. Unidentified goo. Always the best kind. We need to know how much carbon monoxide that generator puts out and how much gas it burns. Let's take it back to the garage for testing. Wow. Bartender, pour me another. That vent is closed just like the others, but it's not on an exterior wall. I bet Dr. Vince knows where it leads.
Yes, I know. The detective told me. I'm Dr. Vicente Manotto. I'm the owner of the building. I found Andrew and called the police immediately. It's just so awful, isn't it? I'd say just about an hour ago. That's correct. Actually, I was in another unit when I heard the alarm go off. Yes, I was in another unit, assessing how much of the last tenant's security deposit I should give back. At first I wasn't sure exactly where the alarm was coming from. Then I could hear it was coming from in here. I knocked on the door, but Andrew didn't answer. I went inside, and that's when I found him. Oh my God. No, I didn't, but I didn't smell a gas leak. Of course, I know carbon monoxide doesn't have an odor. It's just that when I saw Andrew lying there, it struck me that somehow he'd set off the alarm because of all those chemicals he ends up using. Or that maybe it had gone off by itself, accidentally. Frankly, it didn't occur to me in that moment to call anyone but the police. I checked Andrew's pulse. I'm a doctor. I thought if his heart were still beating, I could help him. Other than his immediate family, his wife, son, I haven't seen anyone else here. He paid me the rent yesterday. Yes, it is. Good luck with your investigation.
I'll call down to the morgue for a pickup. Okay, we've got warning signs posted. We've got our oxygen masks, and we've covered half the garage with a giant plastic bag. The conditions inside the gas tent should closely mimic those in Andrew's practice space. And the carbon monoxide detector is positioned about where Andrew's head would have been relative to the generator. All we have to do is fire that puppy up and wait. We should get a good sense of how fast it burns gasoline and how much carbon monoxide it puts out. Care to do the honors?
Okay, that's good. Now come back out here where it's safe. We're gonna let it run completely out of gas. It's gonna take a while, so we should come back later.
Mrs. Levesque, I'm very sorry.
It's Ms. now, or whatever someone calls a widow. I'm sorry, I just can't believe my husband's gone. Never. Andrew was meticulous to a fault, an absolute perfectionist. On occasion I would help him. Even Lyle would help out every now and again. Lyle, that's my son. Andrew was his stepfather. I'm sorry. What was I saying? Oh, yes. My son and I would help Andrew a bit, move things around, tell him what tricks we preferred, but for the most part, my husband worked alone. Apart from Andrew, only me and my son. Well, no, our landlord, Dr. Manoto, has a key to the room. He has a key to all the units. No, well, I mean, he was in remission for almost a year now. He had been diagnosed with an oral cancer called squamous cell carcinoma. It was just devastating. The disease, the chemotherapy. He couldn't work, and then later on, no one wanted to hire him back. It wasn't fair. Odessa's 10 days old. She's our miracle. We decided to have her after the doctor told Andrew his cancer was in remission. We felt so blessed. No, none whatsoever. And believe me, Andrew would never have agreed to Odessa if he had thought for a single moment he wouldn't be right here with me to help raise her. My husband was beloved, truly. Even when they wouldn't hire him back on the strip, they were always so apologetic. It wasn't personal, they'd say. It was business. Times were changing. The end of an era, really. I do? We did sign up for some right when we got married. I had completely forgotten. Andrew handled the bills. If you need to ask me anything else, anything at all, please feel free.
David's on his way back. I'll have something for you a few hours after he arrives.
In the meantime, we can finish processing the scene. Maybe talk to our witnesses some more. Shouldn't be tough to stay busy. It's gasoline, all right, with a pretty high ethanol content. Unless I'm wrong, the diethylene triamine is from an aftermarket stabilizer. Allows the fuel to be stored for longer without gumming up. We're looking at a silyl-terminated polyether and acrylic sealant. Caulk. The great Andrew must have been closing up some joints and gaps in his rehearsal space. Although, I'll tell you, if it were me, I'd have the landlord take care of that kind of work. And who's to say Andrew didn't? It's a paraffin. With those additives, it's consistent with lamp oil. That makes sense. From what I've read, lamp oil is the least toxic fuel for fire breathing. It's still toxic, just not as bad as the alternatives. The blood sample we took from the generator is a match to a Lyle Fitzer. Geez, kid's 18 years old. Look at that list of priors. Talk about starting early and often. But how does Lyle Fitzer know? Wait a second. Lyle's home address matches the Levesque address. Lyle Fitzer is Andrew's stepson. And at some point, he left blood at our crime scene. We should hear what he has to say about his stepfather.
Yeah? I'm gonna need to see some evidence before I go to a judge. We don't even know if there's been a crime yet, so there's no grounds for a warrant. But it won't hurt to ask him.
I thank my mom. I wouldn't be here if she hadn't freaked out when I said I wasn't going.
I'm sure it's a tough time for her, but we have to ask. We found your blood on a generator that may have caused your stepfather's death. How did it get there?
A generator killed him? He didn't die of cancer? How did a generator kill him?
Lyle, your mother said sometimes you would help Andrew practice his performance. But how would your blood get on the generator?
I got in a fight at school, and I got suspended. Mom said I had to tell Andrew before the school called him. So, last night I went into his rehearsal room, and he didn't take it well. He liked to poke and push as punctuation. He'd yell, and then he'd poke, yell, then push. Last night he pushed me so hard I hit my head on the generator. Hurt like a... It hurt, okay? A lot. Pretty great guy, huh? What do you think? But he'd only hit me when he was bored with beating Mom.
It must have been very tough for both of you. I'm curious, did you ever think about...
Look, I did not kill my stepdad. Believe me, I had every reason to, but I can restrain myself. Not like him. Whatever. I can go, right?
Hi, Doc Robbins here. Just wanted to let you know that I've completed my autopsy of Andrew Levesque. I'll give you a full report when you come by.